Hello and welcome to Trust Me. This time we're coming from Cambridge, where we're carrying out the largest study ever done in the UK, looking at the impact of coconut oil on cholesterol levels. Could it really be healthier than butter? And even cut our risk of heart disease?
Absolutely wonderful.
Also, what can genetic testing kits really tell you? What can you do about losing your hearing?
It's not just learning a skill, it is brain training.
And how much fruit is too much? But first, sales of coconut oil are absolutely rocketing because of health claims. We're spending £16 million a year on it, an astonishing 70 times more than just 6 years ago. Coconut oil is a so-called superfood. Its enthusiasts claim it will cure everything from bad breath to digestive disorders. You can even use it as a moisturizer. But perhaps the most surprising claim is that eating this stuff can cut your risk of heart disease by reducing your cholesterol levels. If true, could coconut oil be a healthier yet equally tasty substitute for butter? Some people claim the reason coconut oil is good for your heart is because it reduces levels of harmful cholesterol. Others say that's nonsense. It raises cholesterol, claims based on the fact it's more than 80% saturated fat, more even than butter. So is coconut oil a cholesterol-busting wonder food, or is this all simply dangerous hype? To find out, we've teamed up with the University of Cambridge to run a groundbreaking experiment. We've recruited nearly 100 volunteers, who are all over 50, to test what effect eating coconut oil, compared to other fats, will have on their cholesterol. We're splitting our volunteers into 3 groups. Every day for 4 weeks, Group 1 will eat 50 grams of coconut oil. That's about 2 tablespoons. Group 2 will have 50 grams of olive oil, a fat that is known to lower harmful cholesterol. Group 3 will eat 50 grams of butter a day, which, like coconut oil, is high in saturated fat. Helping us run the study are Professor Katie Kaur and Professor Nita Faruhi. They're going to be looking closely at 2 different types of cholesterol.
LDL cholesterol is the bad cholesterol, and it's linked with increased risk of heart disease and stroke. So hold on to that, LDL is bad. There's also another type of cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and that is supposed to be good because it takes away the bad LDL cholesterol.
Okay, so I was always taught saturated fat raises LDL levels. We know that coconut oil is rich in saturated fat, so presumably it's bad for your heart.
Yes. That's what's so surprising, that there are so many health claims that coconut oil is good for your heart. Also, it's now marketed on a large scale, and so we really need to know what the health effects are in a British population.
Before our volunteers start their oily regime, we're taking baseline levels of both types of cholesterol, the bad LDL and the good HDL. We'll repeat these measurements at the end of our trial. Every day for 4 weeks, our volunteers have to incorporate their 50 grams of oil or butter into their diet in whatever way they choose.
Shot. Jacket potatoes, lots of butter on it. Oof.
A month later, and our volunteers are back. So, what happened? Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, thank you very much for coming along. Want to knock back a pint of fat before we get going? Okay, results time.
Well, for LDL cholesterol, which is the cholesterol that is associated with increased risk in heart disease, the people who were taking butter on average increased their LDL cholesterol by 0.3 millimoles per litre, which is about 10%.
Right, so the poor old butter group, their heart disease risk went up, but in a way that was kind of completely predictable, is that right?
Yes.
And when you stop having that butter, it reverts again.
Yeah. On the olive oil, there was a very small average reduction, not significant. So essentially, no difference in LDL cholesterol on the olive oil diet.
Okay, so now for the big one, coconut oil.
Well, LDL cholesterol for coconut oil went down by 0.09 millimoles per litre. So no overall increase in LDL cholesterol. which was really a big surprise for us and not in line with what we'd come to believe from previous studies.
So, butter raised LDL and olive oil did not, both as expected. But surprisingly, neither did coconut oil, which is high in saturated fat. The fact that it didn't is really, really surprising.
We also measured HDL cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol, and we found that coconut oil increased your good cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, more than olive oil and butter.
Butter and olive oil both raised good cholesterol by about 5%, but coconut oil raised it by an impressive 14%. And because it helps remove the bad stuff, the more good cholesterol you have compared to bad, broadly, the better. So, in our study, coconut oil did not raise bad cholesterol despite being high in saturated fat. And it also seemed to increase good cholesterol. So I must admit, I found that surprising, the idea that you can eat something which is rich in saturated fat and your LDL levels don't go up. Why?
One explanation is that coconut oil is rich in lauric acid, which may be processed in the body differently from other saturated fatty acids.
So I guess the message from it is not all saturated fats are the same, and it is possible that some saturated fats are actually beneficial.
Within saturated fats, there are actually probably good and bad saturated fats.
And the art is identifying the good ones.
That's the challenge.
So watch this space.
Yes.
Yes.
Further studies are needed to find out the long-term effects of coconut oil on health. But our results were unexpectedly good. So I'm not going to be glugging it by the litre, but I'm certainly going to be using it more in my cooking.